What's going on? I am Best Bet Dan, and young people, here are 5 cheat codes that can change the game for you. Let's jump into it. All right, so welcome to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Don't hit the like button yet. I want you to see the content first, and once you see that it's absolutely fire, go ahead and hit that like button. But here we go. Here are 5 life-changing cheat codes that will change the game for you if you start to execute them and use them as soon as possible. Let's jump into it. All right, number 1, designing your life. What do I mean by that? Let's be very clear. So a lot of your parents and a lot of people, teachers, educators, coaches, they're asking you, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What's going to be your career? What do you want to get into? What will you do after you leave high school, after you leave college? I want to submit to you a different idea. You ready for this idea? I want you to think about and decide the kind of lifestyle you want to live. Now, let's before we kind of, jump off the boat, let's think about it, right? It's not so much of cars and houses and things, right? I'm not talking about lifestyle that you see on Instagram. I'm talking about what do you want your day-to-day to look like? Do you like the idea of going to a full-time job every day? Do you like the idea of being in a position where you have freedom? Do you like the idea of maybe working in spurts? So like seasonal type work, right? Where maybe, you work hard throughout the winter, but then maybe you have summers off, or vice versa. Do you like the idea of being able to travel whenever you want to travel? Do you like the idea of having flexibility, being able to, kind of work when you want to, work when you don't, or not work when you don't want to? What do you want your lifestyle to be? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in? Very interesting, right? So my wife and I, we bought our first house. And we bought our first house, it was like we were excited because, man, we have this house. But once we moved into the house, we realized there were things about the house that we really couldn't understand that maybe we didn't want in that house until we lived there. One of them being a driveway that was pretty sloped, right? Kids really couldn't play in the driveway. Like, our kids were younger, so they couldn't ride tricycles, because if you got on a tricycle in that driveway, you're about to go tumbling down the driveway because it was going to just leave you going out of control, right? So now hindsight is 2020. So now, we're able to say, okay, so our next house, boom, these are some things that are priorities to us. And we want to make sure that this is, these are non-negotiables, but we know them because we lived a little bit. Now, you may not have lived much, but you can leverage the experience of others, right? So start talking to people around you and finding out, okay, based on the work that you do, or actually, no, not based on the work you do you enjoy your lifestyle? Do you enjoy what your work affords you to do and how your work affords you to be able to live? If you like their answer, I would say ask some questions about what they do. I would say find out and get some information on the career path that they chose, because it may leave a clue as to how you can get to where you want to get to. Does that make sense? All right. So couple things too, just understanding your personal values. Again, I know for me, time control is a number one, essential value for me. So in everything that I do, I'm always thinking about, will it allow me to have maximum control of my time? And I use those values to create everything, because ultimately that's a lifestyle choice for me. And I want everything that I do work-wise to reflect my lifestyle. Okay? Yeah, I think I said, I want everything I do work-wise, not to reflect my lifestyle, but to reflect my values. There we go. All right. So think about this, right? If you kind of map out your ideal scenario, hey, I want to travel this much per year. I want to travel, period. Okay. I want to be able to have flexibility. I want to be able to have, the ability to give to charities that I like. I want to have the ability to, maybe, get into, real estate, or maybe start a business at some point, right? These are all things you should put down on a piece of paper. And then from there, right, once you understand, okay, so based on what I want, based on, what I'm looking at, do some numbers and work with a parent, work with, a school counselor, work up some numbers and kind of get an understanding of, hey, how much do I need to make after taxes in order to live this lifestyle? Once you get there, right, now you actually have the real goal. Because I'm telling you this, at 36 years old, I've seen so many people that get the career, they get the job that they dreamed of, only to find out that it did not deliver on the lifestyle that they wanted. Some people made all the money but had no time. Some people had all the time but didn't make enough money. And some people, a lot of people kind of fall in the middle where they got average, where they don't really have enough time, they don't really have enough money, and they're always juggling, right? So again, discover and take time to think about what kind of lifestyle you would like to lead. Once you get that, and once you design a lifestyle that's appealing to you, now you can reverse engineer. Once you know how much money you need to make, you can start to explore the career options that will give you the ability to make that money, but then also the ability to enjoy that type of lifestyle. So now, and here's what I'll tell you. So many adults are doing jobs that they don't necessarily love, but they do what will give them the ability to live the lifestyle that they do love. So there's a trade-off, right? Now, if you end up in a situation where you get to do what you love and it makes the money you want to make and gives you the lifestyle that you want to live, I'm not knocking that. You are living the dream. Most people don't get to that. That is the exception and not the rule, okay? Now, what a lot of people do get to is they find out, hey, this is a place where I can make what I want, and it's going to give me the ability to live how I want. So if you start thinking about this at 17, 18, 19, 20, you can do proper research into careers that will give you what you want. And when you're going after something that you truly want, I'm telling you, like, it makes any job easier when you understand, hey, I'm doing something that I don't necessarily love, but it affords me to do what I love. Did you catch that? All right, cool. Let's move on to cheat code number 2, the power of networking. And this is so crucial and so clutch, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. But it's not just about knowing people. It's about building relationships. It's about having a foundation of people that don't just serve you, but you serve them. See, in networking, it's just as much how you can serve other people. Because if you develop a reputation of always trying to take and not giving back, it's very difficult to actually sustain quality relationships because they see you as a taker, right? So you got to put yourself in a position where people know the value that you bring to the table. They understand what your skills are. They understand who you are and how you can help people around you move forward, right? Now, as you begin to do that, again, you're going to build relationships. Networking is not just going to events and collecting business cards. Networking is a foundation of people that know you, trust you, know your character, know your integrity, and just all around, they believe in who you are and what you have to offer. This is a game changer. Most people don't really start to intentionally build a network and understand what networking is until their late 20s. If you can start this as a teenager in your early 20s, the cheat code and the leverage that you will have in life moving forward is going to be astronomical. Okay, so the power of networking. So a couple of practical networking tips for you. Stop going to your friends' houses and not knowing what their parents do for a living. You need to find out everybody in your circle, all of your friends, you need to start asking their parents what they do for a living. You need to start asking them, hey, can I shadow you on your job for a day? You can shadow people on their jobs outside of take your child to work day. Like it literally, all you got to do is, probably there's some paperwork, talk to them and say, hey, can I come check out what you do? Ask them questions about, again, their lifestyle. Are they happy with it, right? But building these relationships are key because at the age you're at, so if you're a teenager, late teens, early 20s, your parents and your friends' parents are in their peak earning potential. They're going to be between their 40s and 60s, right? So I would say between like mid 40s, early 40s, some late 30s, but then they're going to be into like, the late 50s, right? Early 60s, possibly. Those people are in their peak earning years. They own businesses. They run businesses. They're high-level managers. They are C-suite executives. They are the ones that are really running everything. You've got to build relationships because relationships can pave a path forward for you. You guys tracking with me? Build relationships, okay? Another thing you could do practically to build a network is stop going to school and not knowing your teachers and not understanding who your teachers are outside of the classroom. Your teachers have networks, your teachers know business owners, your teachers know people all over the country because they all went to college and they all have college networks. Your teachers are not the ops. Let's say that one more time for the people in the back. Your teachers are not the ops. On the contrary, in many cases, your teachers are some of the biggest cheerleaders you will ever have outside of your family members. Take advantage of that. Don't be jerks in their class. You may not be the best student, but that doesn't mean that you have to be a dud student, if that makes sense. All right. So boom, networking, building relationships. All right. Number 3, this one right here really will change the game. I alluded to it in the last section, but I really want to focus on it here. Build cross-generational relationships. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, you need to have friends that are millennials. You need to have friends that are Gen X. You need to have friends that are baby boomers. Stop only spending time in quality time and communicative time with people that are the same age as you. Be intentional to find out, hey, what is this millennial talking about? You know, why did this millennial do life this way? What would a millennial do different if they were in your shoes? What would a Gen X person do different if they were in your shoes? These are all conversations that are going to help you move forward. And I'm telling you, in our country, in America, we let far too much wisdom go to the grave because we're not doing a great job of building cross-generational relationships. Okay? Just literally so much value in the generations that I've gone ahead of you that you got to get it. And I'll tell you this, most people aren't. Most people aren't taking advantage of it. So if you're somebody who's tapping in, you're going to have a leg up. You're going to have an advantage, AKA a cheat code. You feel me? All right. Let's go into number 4, right? Financial wisdom for a good life. You ready for this? It is not that difficult to live a great, I'll say good and great life financially. All right. Very basic strategy is keep your bad debt low. Now, what's bad debt? What's good debt? Good debt is debt that is making you money. Okay. So let's say you borrow money for a truck and you put a snowplow on it. That truck may make you $30,000, $40,000 every time it snows if you live in the northeast like me. Okay. That truck would be considered good debt. Bad debt is charging a credit card to go on vacation. That vacation more than likely is not going to make you money. That's bad debt. You're spending money on a liability instead of an asset. Liabilities, just for quick vocabulary, liabilities are things that cost you money. Assets are things that make you money. Okay, so if you're 18 years old and you're in a position, and I strongly encourage that if you're not going to be a doctor, an attorney, a accountant, a teacher, an engineer, or a nurse, I strongly encourage you think twice about going to college because college is some of the worst debt that you can incur. But if you start off at 18 with no debt, here's I'm going to show you something. You ready for this? If you start off at 18 with no debt, right? Let's say you just grab a job, nominal job, working at, let's say, a fast food restaurant, right? So you're working at a fast food restaurant, you're there, but you're working full time, right? And let's say for 18 to 20, you can live at home rent free, which a lot of you young people can, okay? Stack your money, build relationships at the fast food restaurant. The customers that come in, they come from all different walks of life. You have access to them and you have an opportunity to have their attention. You can have a conversation with them. Does that make sense? Build relationships with them. Now start learning, okay? The other thing I'm going to tell you is during this season, during this 2-year period, start to work on building what I call social trades, income generating social skills, or also I'll call them high value social skills. There are 7 of them in my book. Networking, sales, promoting, public speaking, content creation, teaching, and leadership. Over the next 2 years, from the time you're 18 to 20, Deliberately develop those 7 skills. If you need help, get a coach. I happen to do that. Check the link in the bio if you want to learn more about what I do. But that's another subject, okay? Deliberately build those skills over 2 years. People that have those skills earn on a higher level than people that don't. People who understand how to sell ideas, sell concepts, sell products and services earn more money than people who can't. People who can lead people on a high level earn more money than people who can't. People who can communicate at a high level and understand how to leverage their voice make more money than people who can't. These are skills that are always in demand. These are skills that jobs literally are salivating, for in terms of hiring people with these skill sets. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of young people don't have these skill sets because they spend so much time in these phones. So get skilled, build skill, go to YouTube University, right? We're here right now on YouTube, and get skills that will help you to move forward. Okay. Number 5 cheat code. You ready for this? Don't get bad debt. And I'm going back to a little bit of number 3, but specifically, if you are not going to college with purpose, if you are showing up just because it's the thing to do, if you're 18 right now, 17, 19, and you're thinking about going to college because, do not go. Don't go. College debt is some of the worst debt that there is. Now, I know they're doing some forgiveness stuff, but still, why leave that up to chance for yourself? Find a situation where you can earn good money, learn high value social skills. If you don't get bad debt early, you have so much more opportunity because you get to live and not be a slave to the debtor or to the debtor. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, 5 things that'll give you a cheat code into designing the life that you will love, and 5 things that will give you the best bet to create the life of your dreams. I am Best Bet Dan. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to drop a comment. What'd you think about the video? Leave something in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.